Well, a very warm welcome to another vlog. This time around, it's about seascapes, and more specifically, long exposure seascapes, or as some photographers call them, fine art photography. Now, I think a better term is minimalist seascapes, because what we are doing is we're removing detail and texture from the sea and the sky. So let's talk a little bit about fine art photography in relation to long exposure, seascape or minimalist photography. Well, fine art and that term, it is apt because what we're doing is we're creating an abstraction of the scene. It's not a real-time or accurate depiction of what our eyes see. We're slowing down the water to create ethereal effects, and we're creating streaks in the sky. But our compositions and focus on composition needs to be good, well considered. I've been here yesterday, hampered by a day of rain and then heavy fog. So I've decided to stay the evening in the camper. The sun is also starting to rise, so my focus will be in this direction. As always, there's so much happening, particularly in seascapes. And that's why minimalism is a wonderful way to focus on a particular subject and analyze the subject. At the moment, I'm shooting a 90-second exposure of the beautiful stacks out here on Kilfarrasy beach in the Copper Coast in County Waterford, Ireland. And what I'd like to share today is why we shoot long exposures. Why are they so appealing? What is so artistic about long exposure photography? And to share with you some of the results that I'm getting, some very minimalist shots where I'm taking all of the detail out of the sea and out of the sky. So I'm going to take this photograph, I'm going to put a photograph yesterday evening of the same set of sea stacks, and this photograph of the sea stacks from a different angle, both quite long exposures. And we'll move on to the next composition, and I'll talk a little bit about that artistic element to long exposure minimalist seascape photography. So why are long exposures and minimalism used together considered artistic? Well, as already mentioned, we're transforming reality rather than recording what we see. In effect, we're manipulating time, and to do that, we utilize neutral density filters, dark filters, which facilitates a slower shutter speed, and therefore the blurring of any movement within the scene. Now, when we combine long exposure with minimalism, we need to strip the scene down to its essential elements to simplify the composition. And therefore, the composition, although simple, needs to be well considered. So the question is, as we've removed texture, detail, indeed, you could argue interest from the sea, from the sky, and since we've identified, isolated, maybe one subject or two subjects within the frame, there's very little scope for our viewers to wander through the photographs, to explore. It's stripped bare. In many ways, particularly when converted to black and white, it can resemble an ink sketch. or a drawing. So hope that gives an overview of why these images are considered artistic. They evoke different emotions than standard images, standard landscape images. Calm, solitude, silence. So as photographers, we do step in to the realm of the artist. And on the way back, as I try to make my way through the gap before the tide catches me here, I realise I'm a little bit dark in the frame, but it showcases the foreground that I found. You'll see these rocks here. They kind of mimic the larger sea stacks. And I've been zooming in to capture that scene and then shooting long exposures of 30 seconds, 60 seconds, etc. to just isolate them in the frame, surround them with whiteness, ensuring that I'm not blowing those highlights out. And another aspect that we were without this morning, that is light. I look over my shoulder, starting to get a little bit of soft directional light. It's not quite hitting, it is actually hitting the right sea stack, but my time is up here. Because I've already gone in over my wellies, even though there really is no need, but I wanted to get as close to those near sea stacks as possible. So I've come out of the shallows and up on the rocks. I'm keeping my eye on the tide and the gap here, but I think I'm going to make my way back onto the main beach here at Kilfarrasy. We'll talk a little bit about ND filters and facilitating long exposure photography. Well, when I was starting out with seascape photography, I had a set of large filters that were a nightmare to clean. Thankfully nowadays, I have all my filters in this little case. We have a 3-stop filter, color coded in blue, the 6-stop, and a 10-stop filter. I have magnetic screw-on filters for each of my lenses. I don't take them off, and therefore I can pop the filter on whenever I need it. I also have a circular polarizer. And that's really it. That's all we need to indulge our passion for minimalist seascape photography. So if you're starting out, I'd highly recommend you grab a set like this. Many manufacturers out there, very few have color casts. They're all pretty well made. It's so convenient and so easy. Indeed, every time I get out with a camera, whether it's seascapes or woodland or wildlife, it puts a smile on my face. It makes us all feel so good. Nature just gives and gives and gives. I bumped into a fellow YouTuber, Evan. Symbiotic Vibrations is the name of his YouTube channel. And we talked a little about self-healing, mental health, nature, photography. They're all combined. They're all there to just make us feel better. And when you come to a place like this, it just has to put a smile on your face. I linked to Evan's channel just up to the right there. Well, I'm waiting for the foam here to surround the sea stack. What a sea stack it is. It's a monolith. If I were told a legend of a giant that had planted this sea stack on this beach, I'd almost believe it. But now that we have an understanding of neutral density filters, when to use them and how to deploy them. There's other key considerations with regards to Seascape, and I'm confronted with one of those considerations here at the moment, and that's sea spray, and it has to be managed, or else we'll get home and we'll find our images are just raindrops and blurs. And the way I've done that is I've used a spray, just a standard glass or lens spray with cloths, constantly wiping down. I compose my shot, I focus on the shot, and then I cover the lens with the lens cap. And only when the water breaches the sea stack do I take that lens cap off, and then I compress my 30-second exposure or 60 seconds. But on a beach like this, I tend to keep it down, and there's so much movement in those waves that we don't need as long a shutter speed to get that white, smooth water. Another consideration that's really important is to take separate exposures for the dark areas in the frame. The sea stack and the cliffs on the left here. And I've taken the neutral density filter using a 10 stopper ND 1000 filter for this shot off the lens, and took a very quick shot to ensure there's no spray on the lens as I take it, to capture the detail in the stack and the detail on the cliffs. So I'll put one or two shots up from this magnificent location and we'll move on to the next. Look at this. That sea stack is so enormous. This place is so epic. I'm not going to take my DJI mic out. Just using the audio in the device because I'm literally on the edge of the cliff here, having climbed down a very steep embankment. Not for the faint-hearted, but it's a grassy bank down here. And previously I've been on this beach and I have photographed from the base, but I haven't photographed on the way down. And I've just found a place that's got a square yard of grass that's stable enough to set the tripod up. I'm getting a much wider shot, shooting at about 18mm. And it's a much more pleasing shot than I remember from last time round. So I'm going to stay here on this edge. I'm comfortable enough, I feel safe for a while, and just shoot about 5 seconds. Now 5 seconds is still a long exposure. And there's so much movement in the water. But I've made a decision not to blur all of the water here. I've polarized the sea beyond, so it's a little bit darker. We've beautiful darks all around. And again, I am exposing for the sea stacks, exposing for the sky, using the MD64 to 6-stop and the polarizer as well. So I'll leave it at that for the moment and focus on the job at hand. What a scene. I think it even looks better on a height here. And I'm on a little outcrop, cliff outcrop, taking very long exposures in portrait mode to capture the tall stack and the stack to the right of it, and just getting enough separation between those two stacks and the one to the left. If I'm not mistaken, I think I started up a vlog a few years ago on seascape photography on this very spot. So it seems fitting to end this vlog here. What I've noticed today is that one aspect of minimalist, long exposure, seascape photography that I missed is the relaxing effect it has. Because once we seek out our composition, once we set our camera up, we can sit back for 1 minute or 2 minutes or however long our exposure is and admire the scene. I find with other forms of photography, I tend to shoot and then move on, shoot and move on. So I've really enjoyed today and yesterday, even though the weather really hampered any image making. And I very much hope that you've enjoyed the vlog too. And I hope you've enjoyed the images. And I hope you'll join me next time, wherever the road may take us.